You're watching YCN, your local view. Program airtime is underwritten in part by Bar Harbor Bank and Trust. Looking to purchase your dream home, finance your business, or just find a better checking relationship? Our New Hampshire team is here to help you. We make award-winning banking happen every day. Contact us to see how we can help you. Member FDIC.
Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. I'm Abby Peel, your host. Our show this week is again coming to you and being presented by the Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice, where they provide healthcare and hospice services for individuals and families in home and community settings, fostering continued care and enabling people to stay in their homes as long as possible. Coming up today, Cathy Raymond will join me to tell us about their Hospice Dinner and Annual Fund appeal. Kate Saunders will give us a wrap of this year's League of New Hampshire Craftsmen's Fair. We'll be on location for the Newport Mural Reveal that took place last month. And we'll close our show with Annie and Christopher at their Bend Deli in Sunapee. But first, a few words from the good businesses that make it possible for us to continue as YCN, your local view. Please stay with us.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and backup generators. Their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications. Main Street Bookends of Warner, for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner. The Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, coming to you from the Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice, and I'm now joined by absolutely no stranger to me or to this show is Cathy Raymond, the development officer here. Hello, Cathy.
Hello, Abby.
We haven't checked in with each other since May, so yes. I guess there's probably 3 months of things to talk about, which is always
we could be here a long time, but I'll try to be good, you know.
Yeah. We have 2 things to talk about today. We'll try and stay on track. First thing is you have an annual fund appeal about to go out. Talk about that. I mean, I know you have it all year long, but another reminder to people.
Yeah, we do an annual fund appeal, and just quickly, what the annual fund is, it's sort of the foundation of our philanthropy, and on that we build because there's a lot of donors to the annual fund, and they get involved in other ways, and so the key to the annual fund is that it's largely unrestricted giving, which is very important for a nonprofit because you can use that money as you need at any given time.
Sure.
And it also creates a broad base of donors, and we all know in all nonprofit organizations you can't rely on a handful of donors. You rely on a broad base. So the annual fund kind of gives us that foundation, but we wanted to increase our goal by $50,000 this year for the annual fund, and and we had a donor who I was talking to, and that donor said she would give us $30,000 toward that goal. So we already have an extra $30,000 from a friend of the agency who has supported us before. And so to tip over that $50,000 more should be easy. And so every gift matters. If you want to, if you've never given before, if you're out there listening, you've never given, go to our website or call me if you have, and you can do a little more to tip us over that top, just as our goal for this year.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And a goal in August that you got some time left, so that's great.
Oh yeah, and you can give to the annual fund anytime.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
Anytime this year will count toward that goal. This calendar year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but we always do a summer letter, and so it's important for us to get new people, to sustain some of our donors, to have a nice broad base of donors.
Very much so.
So it's sort of the core. One of the core things we do for unrestricted giving. So.
And briefly, what are some of the things that the annual fund supports here?
Well, because we're a nonprofit, we have what we call community benefits.
Okay.
And so that basically means services and programs that may not make money, may lose money, may not be reimbursed or funded by any insurances at all, but we deem that they're important to the agency to do. And I won't get into that because we don't have time, but if there's a whole list of community benefits, and it's a requirement as a healthcare nonprofit in New Hampshire to provide community benefits and report them to the state of New Hampshire. So they don't give you a number of how much you have to do, but so we always have identified community benefits, but those aren't paid for by anybody.
Interesting.
So that's a really big reason why we need to do philanthropy, or why any healthcare nonprofit. And then just operationally, things are just more expensive.
Oh yeah.
And it's harder to make money on operations. In fact, it's quite unusual, and that's not unusual for nonprofits either.
Sure.
So the cost of staff, the cost of supplies, everything.
Everything
and so operationally, it's tighter too.
Yep.
So that helps with that too.
And just making sure the VNA stays here for a very long
That's
time.
Right, we want money we want money over here to tide us over.
Exactly.
You know? And we do have some, and that's great. And,
right.
And that helps with that too, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Another point to talk about is an event that has taken a little hiatus.
Yes.
Is returning in a new fashion. Talk about that.
Yeah, we have hospice dinners coming back.
Coming back.
It's something we did for many years, and then, like so many things, COVID hit and things shifted for us and other community partners. And we haven't done the actual hospice. It's a hospice benefit, hospice celebration. So it's not a huge fundraiser, but we do hope to raise some funds toward hospice.
Good.
But it's also to honor hospice care and pay tribute to it, and to spread awareness about hospice care.
Yes, very important.
So we're doing it at a really fun place that I visited for the first time. Everyone should go there. It's called the Grateful Dane.
Yes.
It's on Schoolhouse Road in Newport.
Love it.
And it is this cool venue, and they have a few rooms. And we're doing, it's not gigantic. I think for a sit-down dinner, the maximum you can do is about 100.
Okay.
And they have two rooms. One is smaller and one is larger. But it's this beautiful view.
Amazing.
Just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the people are from Massachusetts, and they are just a delight.
Amazing.
It's very affordable, very flexible. And so we figured this would be interesting to try a new location and do something a little different. And we can only have 100 maximum.
Sure.
We may have that, we may not, but we figured we'd give it a try.
Yeah,
and kinda
bring
see
it
how
back.
It goes. So, because it was always very popular, because some of the hospice team would come.
Sure.
And couple hospice families would share some stories, and it's just kind of a lovely event.
Amazing. So it's still in the works a little bit, but tell us what you do know. The location, you have a date.
We do know the location. Again, I think it's 5 Schoolhouse Road in Newport.
Okay.
We have the date, Wednesday, October 22nd.
Oh, it'll be a pretty foliage time up there,
That was
too.
our hope.
Yes.
You know, it's interesting, because November is hospice month. So originally trying to look at a date in November. And then I talked to the hospice team here, and they were like, it doesn't really matter if we do it in October.
Sure.
We could still honor hospice
Absolutely.
month. And then, so it might still be, last year the foliage was late. So I'm hoping maybe
that'd be really good.
It would be just really pretty to go there and not have as much a risk of snow or cold or things like that, which who knows, you know.
Hard to believe that's on the horizon.
I know, with what's going on, we probably won't get any snow this year. But so it's October 22nd, Wednesday, probably 5:30 or 6 o'clock. I will be sending invitations and to people I know, but there'll also be ads.
Sure.
So once you see that, probably in September, early-ish maybe, I'm not sure, but look for ads in the shopper or wherever on our website. The seating will be up to 100, so if you see it and you're interested, reach out.
Well, and because you've taken so much time off in between the last one, there's a lot of new changes in hospice, not only families that have, used your services, but staff, I'm sure, too. And so what a great reset. For this event.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to it, and it will round out kind of the hospice awareness. And
And before we know it, it'll be time to talk about the next Women Who Make a Difference luncheon, too. We'll come back and talk to you about that.
It will be. When do we start meeting?
January. It seems so far away, but it's really not.
It comes so fast, yes.
Well, Cathy Raymond, always a pleasure to check in.
Thank you,
Two
Abby.
wonderful things happening. Support not only the VNA, but the hospice program here as well. All the information can be found on the VNA's
That's
website.
Right.
Yes. Thank you for joining me.
Appreciate it so much.
When we come back, we'll meet up with Kate Saunders at Mount Sunapee Resort for a wrap on the Craftsmen's Fair this year. We'll be back after this message from one of the businesses that underwrites your Yankee Chronicle on YCN, your local view. You could become one too. Email us at info@ycnnow.com to learn more.
This program is supported by Main Street Bookends of Warner for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner.
The Cottage. Direct from Broadway, this hysterical comedy farce is set in the English countryside in 1923. This tale of betrayal and love unfolds when Sylvia decides to expose her affair to both her husband and to her lover's wife. The true meaning of fate, identity, and marriage are called into question as a surprising and hilarious web of secrets unravels in this ridiculous, potentially murderous romantic comedy. This wonderfully written play is hilarious and a tad bit naughty. It is laugh out loud funny. The Cottage does contain many adult themes and situations and is likely not recommended for all ages.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. This week we are presented by the Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice, the leading provider of home health care services in our region. I'm Abby Peel, your host. For 92 years, the League of New Hampshire Craftsmen have been celebrating the skill and art of craftspeople at their annual fair. The new executive director has one under her belt. How did it go, Kate?
This year's fair was one of the best we've had ever. Our opening day was over 4,000 people who came forward to support the arts. So we've been really having a wonderful fair. It's one of New Hampshire's best traditions where you can see the work of hundreds of New Hampshire craftsmen and artists. The addition of more music and new artists and the crowds have just brought such energy to our event. The craftsmen are so grateful and happy. One of my favorite tents to visit is the Art, Craft, and Design tent. It's where a curated exhibition is completed that represents over 100 of our best craftsmen. They work on pieces all year long and choose their favorite piece to put in the exhibition to share with the world. We sell actually all of the artwork in our exhibitions and throughout our tents, but this one is particularly special because these are some of the most comprehensive and complex pieces of craftsmanship that you see among the league. Also, one of the things that I think families really appreciate is the demonstrators that are a part of the league. We partner with nearly 20 different guilds that are throughout New Hampshire. So you'll see the Woodworkers Guild, you'll see tapestry makers, you'll see the Bead Making Society, you'll see the Potters Guild, teaching young children how to throw clay for the first time. I meet people of all ages that have those core memories of the first time that they attended the fair and got that moment of inspiration when they were able to be a part of the creation of craft. Also, I think one of our favorite parts is having music and having food as a part of the day-long experience because it's a beautiful drive up to Sunapee, but then to be able to have just specialty vendors that are supporting small businesses in New Hampshire and just making our event really, really festive and fun for the family. One of the most fun parts of our event is a Kids Create Zone. So when families are coming to the event, we always have children have free admission so that they can play with us. And so we have a number of different areas where they can learn how to weave, throw pottery, work with wood, and all sorts of other pieces. So we have this whole zone where parents can visit with their children and learn how to create artwork together. So the mission of the League of New Hampshire Craftsmen really centers around the future of craft and the legacy of craft. But dovetailed with that is education. So we want to further craftsmanship. So not only do we serve and support over 700 juried artists throughout the state of New Hampshire, we are developing educational programs that further the opportunity for young people to learn about craft. Yes, we have a 9-day event that is the quintessential event since the 1930s, but also all year long, our fine craft galleries have our artists work in them all throughout the state, so families can visit our fine craft galleries and see the artwork. And then through our various locations, we also offer classes. So if you're interested in finding ways to support the League of New Hampshire Craftsmen, please go to our website. We have a lot of information there. We have information about our fine craft galleries, the annual fair, and our annual fund. Our annual fund is unrestricted and supports hundreds of artists throughout New Hampshire.
Can't believe it'll be the 93rd edition next year and round up all their hard work. When we return, Kate Nibley from Newport's Library Arts Center will give us a preview of their annual pie contest and crafts fair coming up. So keep it tuned to YCN, your local view, after this message from another supporter of your Yankee Chronicle.
This program is supported by the Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle. This week we are presented by the Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice, the leading provider of home health care services in our region. I'm Abby Peel, your host. Another recent event in Newport's downtown is a mural reveal. Let's hear about this batch of not one, but many that now tell the story of Newport in Corn Alley. Hi, Kate.
We're here in downtown Newport, right off Main Street in Corn Alley, where we are unveiling 21 community murals based on why this is a wonderful place to live. And we could not be more excited for this celebration. Specific art mural installation, we had a year-long crowdsourcing for what makes this a great region to live in. We listed a large list of ideas, and artists were welcome to come up with sketches of what they would like to do with those ideas. We got dozens and dozens of entries, and from those, a community panel selected the artists that would be participating in this project and the themes that they would be working on. So each artist has his or her own mural, either 4x8, 4x4, or 2x2 feet large, so a varying size, and each one is its own art piece, which has been painted in their home studio and then installed here in our alleyway. The Library Arts Center is dedicated to bringing more community art to downtown Newport and has partnered with the Newport Area Chamber of Commerce, and together we have committed to bringing a large community art project a year for 5 years to downtown Newport. This is our second iteration, and already we're getting excited about our next one, which we'll be announcing soon. But it's really exciting to see how each one benefits the town, brings community building, brings economic development, and really revitalizes and brings fresh energy and creativity to our downtown region in ways that are incredibly powerful and beautiful to see. Corn Alley is a historical alley located on Main Street in downtown Newport, right between Bar Harbor Bank and the Gamache building. So it's unmissable right from downtown. You can come to our little town and park on Main Street and you won't be able to miss it.
Thank you, Kate. It's pretty amazing that Newport has accomplished in visual storytelling, and another example of what the Library Arts Center accomplishes. When we return, I'll be in Sunapee to visit the new home of the Bend Deli. But first, these words from another good business that supports the programming here on YCN, Your Local View.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and backup generators. Their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, coming to you from the Bend at Sugar River, a new deli located on Lower Main Street in Sunapee. And I'm now joined by Annie Montgomery, one of the co-owners here. Hi, Annie.
Hi, Abby.
This is the place to be.
It sure is.
We look relaxed. We look happy. Tell us about your entire vision to make the Bend at Sugar River come to be.
It was a fluke. But we just knew that Sunapee needed a full year, fully opened all year food establishment.
Yes.
And we are not really a restaurant, we're a grab and go kind of deli, but we do have this fabulous patio.
I'd say. This is fantastic.
And there's plenty of places to eat out here, a few places inside.
Sure.
But I just think Sunapee needed this, pastries and good food and great sandwiches and take-home dinners was very important because nobody was doing that in Sunapee either.
Tell us exactly where the Bend is located.
So the Bend is on Lower Main Street in the lower village of Sunapee, which is on the west side of Route 11.
Yes.
I think our goal is to revitalize the lower village.
Yeah.
It was so thriving for so long, and now we want it to be that again. Yeah.
And you did a lot of research to get to here. You visited different delis and tasted different menus, and
we did.
And you kind of went on a New England tour to kind of see what did we like.
We started in Maine, and we just kept stopping all the way between Portland and Sunapee.
Amazing. So to sit here and kind of enjoy the Sugar River and a nice meal. Talk about the concept. I mean, you've been open almost a year, coming up, and talk about what you brought into the menu and different sort of lines that you brought in.
Well, my daughter-in-law, who was very into foods and grocery stores, really launched the Bend.
Sure.
And she knew a lot about different foods, and my kids are big foodies.
Yep.
And everybody sort of said, well, we don't want a regular old deli sandwich. Of the sandwiches was also, let's come up with some really cool names.
I love the names.
Yeah, so we have Win Hill, a very important road in Sunapee.
Yes, right up the street.
We have the Parlin, which reflects the Parlin Field in Newport that we love.
Sun Bowl salad is one after the Sun Bowl, at Mount Sunapee.
Yeah.
Isn't there one after Aerosmith too? Yep, you got to do a nod to Aerosmith.
Yes, and what's that? The something Sweet Emotion.
Yeah. Foods and drinks and chips and all that. Really
not the run of the mill.
Yeah.
Go into a convenience store and come out with a Coke.
Right.
You don't do that here. We're trying to be a little more healthy than items with a lot of sugar.
Sure. Let's now join Annie and Chris for a stroll through the deli.
We salvaged the beams, as you can see around. You can also see, I call it my history wall, and my history wall talks a little bit about the lower village. Shows pictures of the old buildings and my favorite part of the lilacs, which unfortunately we didn't save enough of. And then if you turn and see this wall, this is still part of the whole history wall, and that was the crutch and rake factory. And so I tried to have photos of the many things in the lower village. And this is an actual rake from the rake factory that you can see.
One of the comical things was as the site foreman in the big excavator was starting to demolish the barn, it was early January, about 3 years ago, and Annie went rushing out and said, "I want to save those windows." And he barely knew us. But he said, "Are you crazy, lady? I can get you some new ones."
I'll get you new windows.
Annie said, "I want those." And when people come in, they are enthralled that we preserved so much of the history. And then this was a very important thing to Annie, to have a cozy spot. And she wanted essentially a wood stove. It's propane-fired wood stove. It's a highly sought-after seating area. I think that it's very thoughtfully curated selection of country store items, a really nice selection of cheeses, and then we have for off-premise consumption wine and beer and non-alcoholic beer, and then a very interesting variety of chips and crackers, but unlike one might find in the typical convenience store. We try to partner with local farmers and vendors and help to promote their products as well. So we have sides, we have entrees, and we have take-home dinners.
I think a lot of our marketing was trying to, in the winter at least, is gearing toward the skiers, saying, you don't want to cook tonight when you get home, do you?
Right. And then now for boating, come summer, you can grab and pack a bag.
And what we're really working on, and from a marketing standpoint, if people are anticipating company for the weekend, a couple of days ahead of time, they can just go online on our website and they'll have a whole menu from which they can select platters and sandwiches and things like that. In January, we were very thrilled to be awarded the Rookie Business of the Year by the Lake Sunapee Region Chamber of Commerce. And that's been a really fun recognition. And now in April, Business NH magazine ran a feature article on us, and a couple weeks ago, New Hampshire magazine, in their May issue, The Best of the Granite State, in the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, identified us as one of the best places to eat in this region. So all of that is just really edifying for us. We're getting known, and we seem to continue to get very positive word of mouth, and that's so important for a new business.
Definitely. So much happening all around in Sunapee. For more information, check out the Harbor website. Tune in next week at the same time as we step aside for the last summer edition of Cougar Chronicle. YCN's Game of the Week revisits boys basketball tournament action as number 2 Mascoma entertains number 3 Kearsarge. Check out the schedules on our website for the most up-to-date fall live game schedules. Games replay every Sunday and Monday at noon and 7 p.m. on TDS TV and Comcast Cable, and also on Roku, Apple TV, and for those that don't have cable, our YCNNow.com website carries all of our programming on demand and live. I'm Abby Peel. Join us again next week at the same time for another summer edition of Cougar Chronicle for August. Enjoy your weekend, everyone.
The Lake Sunapee region is one of the few communities in the country where you can ski year-round. During the summer season, the lake provides water skiing, fishing, swimming, and boating. During the winter, Mount Sunapee Resort, located at the south end of the lake, is one of the most popular ski and snowboard destinations in New Hampshire. The views of Lake Sunapee from the trails in Sun Bowl are spectacular. For more information about visiting our beautiful area, contact the Lake Sunapee Region Chamber of Commerce.